And transportation will come to order. We are going to start at a subcommittee. We'll start our hearings until we get a quorum, and then we'll go right into executive session as soon as we get a quorum. So we have several bills we need to get off our plate. But we will start with House Bill 70, I believe. House Bill 70. Representative Dinkins, proceed when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Representative Chris Dinkins, representing Shannon, Reynolds, Iron, Washington, Wayne, Madison, and Bollinger counties. By the size of my district, you can tell that I'm in a very rural area, which is the main reason why I am bringing this bill forward. This has been heard several times and has been voted off the House floor several times, and we are working to get it through on this side. Previously, the Missouri School Board Association and the Missouri Association of School Administrators have testified in support of that. They are in a education hearing this morning and unable to make it up here. This bill essentially is just going to add 5 words to the current statute, which makes it "or other designated school personnel." There are some other technical changes, but this is the only thing of real content that is going to change. And what this bill does is allow more local control to our school districts by allowing the school boards to determine who will be the school protection officer in their school. Currently, it can be any certified staff member. And what a superintendent who brought this to my attention said was that sometimes he has a maintenance worker or an IT person that is better qualified to be the school protection officer than the teacher, and that he would rather put the most qualified person in that position, and that they also know the ins and the outs of the school and, generally speaking, have all the keys to the doors. And it would make sense that if there is a person in that school district that is not overseeing students, that they would be the better choice in that situation. In the rural communities, it often takes 45 minutes to get a law enforcement person to a particular area because it is so rural. The roads are narrow and seldom places to pass. There's no shoulders on the roads. It takes them a while to get there. A lot of our local communities do not have city police officers, so they're only depending on the your county sheriff's departments to respond, or your highway patrolman, which could also take time. So with that, I will take any questions.
We do have a short hearing today, so we'll have to make the hearing quick. Is anybody here to testify in favor of House Bill 70? Yeah, come on up. If you can keep your comments limited, that'd be really helpful, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. Susan Myers of the 20th. When someone armed and harboring intentions of becoming a killer of children on a massive scale enters the school, the teachers who place themselves between that threat and their defenseless students are immediately faced with not one but 2 enemies: a murderer of children and the clock. The best way to save the most lives once an active shooter attack begins is to engage the killer quickly and stop that clock. The quickest way to achieve that is to have armed and willing individuals in the school building at the ready before the would-be killer even arrives. Expanding the pool of potential candidates to become well-trained and certified school protection officers will help districts find the most qualified employees to serve in this vital role. It's one small change the Missouri legislature can make to help schools better protect our children. I appreciate the committee hearing it, and I ask that it be voted out with the bipartisan support it deserves. Thank you.
Any questions for this witness? Hearing none, thank you for your
That was
testimony.
quick, right?
Any other testimony in favor of House Bill 70? Any for opposition? Anybody here to testify in opposition? Any for informational purposes only? Thank you, Representative. You have any closing remarks? You good?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. We will go to House Bill. Let me pull it up so I remember the number. House Bill 415. Representative O'Donnell, sorry. Proceed when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. State Representative Michael O'Donnell. I represent the 95th District, which is the southernmost part of St. Louis County. House Bill 415 does one thing, and it addresses a huge problem in our state. And that one thing is it requires auto dealers to collect the sales tax at the point of sale, thereby ending 90+% of the temp tag abuse we see in the state. Most states already do this. And the strange thing about auto sales tax is it's the only sales tax we do not collect directly at the point of sale. This bill would change that. The other thing that's nice about this is a lot of times it's a challenge for folks to come up with a large sum of money at the point of sale, and the auto dealers have expressed a willingness to roll the sales tax into the financing. We've already kind of headed down this road. A new computer system will soon be awarded by the Office of Administration, built for the Department of Revenue to facilitate all of these transactions. This bill passed out of Ways and Means 9-0, Rules 6-0, and was third read 155-1. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Any questions for the sponsor? Senator Razer. Sorry, not representative anymore. Senator.
I assume the only reason we don't do this is because of the computer systems, the DOR?
That's been the delay. And once that hurdle was laid to rest, we're pretty much there. We just need to make the statutory change to
There's
require
a lot of
that.
things that are going to be easier once we get that fixed.
Absolutely.
Further questions? Hearing none. Thank you, Representative. Anybody here to testify in favor of House Bill 415?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, thank you. For the record, my name is Doug Smith, President and CEO of Missouri Automobile Dealers Association, and I would like to echo Representative O'Donnell's comments. One quick correction is that system has been, the bid for that system has been awarded. There's a contractor in place, and the Department of Revenue has done a great job of facilitating that, and the process has already started. This has been an over a decade process of getting to this point. This is literally the final piece of the puzzle. We've got 385 new car dealers across the state that are ready and willing to collect sales tax once the technology is available to handle that. And this would simply be a conduit from the dealership to the Department of Revenue and to our friends at MoDOT to get funds quickly. Also takes care of titling and registration with this new system, which is another big part of the whole process. So we support this wholeheartedly, and we hope this gets the support it needs.
Questions for this witness? Hearing none. Thank you for testimony.
Thank you.
But make sure you leave witness forms. Thank you. Anybody else here to testify in favor?
Pat Kelly, I'm the Executive Director of Municipal League Metro St. Louis. Just want to go on record supporting the bill. We have a real issue in our area with individuals not properly licensing their cars. Takes up a lot of our police time and court time, and this would resolve that issue. Be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for this witness? Hearing none. Thank you. Anybody else here to testify in favor? Anybody here to testify in opposition? Anybody here for informational purposes only? That'll conclude the hearing. Thank you, Representative. Any concluding remarks?
Nope. Thank you for your help.
Yeah, glad to do it. Senator Razer, you're up. Senate Bill 625. Proceed when you're ready.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Senator Greg Razer, 7th District, presenting Senate Bill 625. This is the easiest thick bill you've ever seen. It literally is cleaning up nomenclature in state statute surrounding EMS personnel. Over the decades, we've used different terms and definitions, and this just levels all that out and goes through statute and changes and makes them all uniform. I'm happy to try to answer any questions or
Questions for the
experts today.
senator? Hearing none. Anybody here to testify in favor of Senate Bill 625?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Brent Hemphill. I'm here on behalf of the Missouri Ambulance Association. I want to thank the senator for bringing this bill forward. We literally have definitions in statute. In fact, you passed a bill out of the Senate Bill 24, that deals with post-traumatic stress disorders, and it used the terms ambulance drivers and ambulance attendants, which do not exist anywhere in any definition or licensure. So this is an attempt to try to create proper definitions for paramedics and EMTs or anybody on an ambulance. For that, we want to go on record and support the bill.
Questions for this witness? Hearing none, thank you for your testimony. Anybody else here to support Senate Bill 625? Any questions for this witness? Hearing none, thank you for your testimony. Anybody else here to testify in favor of Senate Bill 625? Anybody in opposition? Anybody for information purposes? Senator, any closing remarks? Great. That'll conclude the hearing on the bills we have in front of us. Just a second. We'll just stand at ease until we get a quorum.
Bean, Eigel, Razer, Schroer, Williams.
Quorum being established, we will go into executive session. Do I have a second on executive session? We are in executive session, having a second. Let's see. We are going to go to House Committee substitute for House Bill 903. There's several bills. I move that we bring up House Committee substitute for House Bills 903, 465, 430, and 499. Do I have a second? Having a second, we will bring that bill before the committee. That is a foreign ownership of land House bill that we heard from Representative Haffner last week. I have a committee sub, and you have that in front of you. I offer that for adoption. Do I have a second? That is up on the table for adoption, the Senate committee substitute for the House bills. The Senate committee substitute is a language agreed to by Senator Bratton, Senator Beck, Senator Eigel, Senator Hoskins. As far as it's substantially similar to the language that was passed out of that committee, and they were combined into several bills. This was negotiated between the ag groups. Senator Bratton, Senator Black came to the table, and we found this language as substitute language. We're tacking that onto the House bill, and this will be the language that we'll get to the floor if we get this bill through committee. So, any questions? I'd be glad to answer them, or any discussion on the Senate committee substitute. Hearing none, all those in favor of adopting the substitute say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. You've adopted the substitute. I now move that we do pass Senate Committee substitute for House Committee substitute for House Bills 903, 465, 430, and 499. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, Ben, call the roll.
Senators Fitzwater, Brown, Bean, Eigel.
Bean left his vote with the chair, right?
Yeah, but
If it doesn't,
yeah.
go ahead, go through it, sorry.
Eigel,
Aye.
Razer, Schroer, Williams.
That bill has been voted do pass by a margin of 4-0. We had Bean, who left his vote with the chair. It's 5-0. We will now go to Senate Bill 211. I ask that that be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The bill is before the committee. I move that Senate Bill 211 be voted out of committee. Do pass. Do I have a second? I have a second. This bill was presented a couple weeks ago by Senator Bean regarding the employment rights of Missouri Task Force 1 members. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ben, call the roll.
Senators Fitzwater,
Aye.
Brown, Bean, Eigel, Razer, Schroer, Williams.
By your vote of 4-0, you voted Senate Bill 211 do pass. I now move that House Bills 702 et al. Be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The bill's before the committee. I now move that House Bill numbers 702, 53, 213, 216, 306, and 359 be voted do pass. This is the local control. This is the House crime bill that was sent to us. We heard last week from Representative Christ. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ben, call the roll.
Senators Fitzwater, Brown, Bean, Eigel, Razer, Schroer, Williams.
By your vote of 3-1, you voted do pass House Bill number 702 et al. No other business before the committee. I move that we leave executive session. Have a second. Having a second, we're out of executive session. That will conclude the hearing on transportation, infrastructure, and public safety.